Good day, everyone, dear classmates, and also our professor, Sir John Foy C. Capuno. Uh, for this subject, the Dsped 601, Introduction to Special Education. The first is we have to describe the characteristics and inclusive schools and communities. Uh, Inclusive schools are schools that are welcome and support all children to learn and develop their skills. So, regardless of their race, size, shape, color, ability and disability. Inclusive schools provide an equitable access and opportunity to all students and create a learning environment that adapts to each student's needs. Also, inclusive schools value the unique contribution of students from all backgrounds and promote the understanding and reduce prejudice and strengthen social integration. They also ensure that children with disabilities are equipped to work and contribute economically. Next, so here are the practices to inclusive schools. So first is we have to individualize instruction. Individualized instruction is to provide highly individualized instruction and support to meet the specific needs of each student. And second is you have to be adapted timetable. So allowing some students to have adapted timetables with different start and finishes times than their peers. Next, also the best practices is to be specialized equipment in providing students with specialized equipment such as communication devices, voice recorders, or computers. And the fourth one is the quiet spaces. So this will allow some students to access quiet spaces. And fifth, in celebrating success, we have to acknowledge the effort and achievement of each student and including the staff and keep on encouraging everyone to share in these moments together. Then the sixth one is the student voice and leadership. So engaging and empowering students to contribute to the schools and community. And to the next reporter is who's next? Reporter. Mamaira Humawit is the next reporter.
Ako, okay, next. So, okay, good evening to each and everyone. So, my topic is all about the characteristics of inclusive schools. So, the characteristics is education for all. The core principle of inclusive education is ensuring that all students, regardless of their abilities, disabilities, or backgrounds, have access to quality education. Second is it must be have equitable opportunities. Inclusive schools strive to provide equal opportunities for all students regardless of their differences. Next is embracing diversity. Inclusive schools celebrate diversity in all its forms, recognizing and valuing the unique strengths, backgrounds, and experiences of each student. Then, removing barriers. Inclusive schools actively identify and remove barriers that prevent students from participating fully in the learning process. Another characteristics of inclusive school is the Universal Design for Learning or UDL. Inclusive schools adopt UDL principles to create learning environments that are accessible and engaging for all students. Next is the positive school culture. Inclusive schools foster a culture of kindness, respect, and empathy among students and staff. Next is child-centered approach. Inclusive schools prioritize a child-centered approach to learning. Then, adequate resources and support. Inclusive schools provide the necessary resources and support to ensure that all students can succeed. Then, personalized support. Inclusive schools offer individualized support, accommodations, and modification to help students with disabilities reach their full potential. Another is collaboration and partnership. Inclusive schools foster close collaboration between teachers, students, families, and education professionals. Then, professional development. Inclusive schools provide ongoing professional development opportunities for teachers and staff to enhance their knowledge and skills in inclusive education. Continuous improvement. Inclusive schools regularly evaluate their policies, practices, and programs to ensure that they are effective in promoting inclusive education and meeting the needs of all students. Welcoming attitude. Inclusive schools welcome all children and young people from the local community to participate in curricular and co-curricular activities. Then, positive relationship. Inclusive schools strive to create a positive and supportive environment where students feel safe, respected, and encouraged to learn. Now, there are characteristics of community in inclusive schools. So, this is all about the characteristics of community. So, diversity is celebrated. Learners from various backgrounds, abilities, and learning styles come together. Belongingness is key. Everyone feels a sense of belonging and connection knowing they are part of the supportive community. Respect is paramount. Mutual respect is fundamental where everyone is treated with kindness and understanding. The support system must be strong. The school provides tailored support for learners with diverse needs. So encourage also the collaboration. Teachers, parents, and students work together to create a positive and inclusive learning environment. Then cultivate growth mindset. The school promotes a growth mindset, encouraging everyone to learn from their experiences and embrace challenges. Valued open communication. Open and honest communication is encouraged, allowing everyone to express their thoughts and feeling freely. So that ends my report. So the next reporter will be Mom.
Ako, ma'am.
Okay, Mom Karen.
Good day again, everyone, and to you, Doc. My topic is all about the advantages and the disadvantages of inclusive schools. In today's rapidly evolving educational landscape, one of the most significant shifts is the growing emphasis on inclusive education. As schools increasingly adopt inclusive practices, they are transforming the way students with diverse abilities and backgrounds interact with their peers. So that is why there are different advantages of inclusive education that benefits the following. The advantages of inclusive education benefits for students with disabilities. These are the benefits that students with disabilities can gain. First is enhance social and communication skills. So there is inclusion. In this inclusion, it provides opportunities for students with disabilities to interact with typically developing peers, fostering essential social and communication skills for future success. Next is improve academic performance. In mainstream classroom, there is an often have higher behavioral and educational expectations. So encouraging students with disabilities to reach their full potential. Next is the preparation for life after school. In inclusion, it prepares students with disabilities for a more integrated society. where they will encounter individuals with and without disabilities. And then the increase of sense of belonging. The inclusion allows students with disabilities to feel like valued, they are members of the school community, and fostering a sense of belongingness and acceptance. Then there is an access to a richer educational experience. In inclusive classrooms, it provides students with disabilities access to a more enriched learning environment that includes opportunities for peer tutoring and collaboration. Then improve cognitive skills. So in inclusive education, this allows students with disabilities to receive the same attention and instruction as their peers, potentially improving their cognitive skills and problem solving abilities. Then there is also an increased motivation and engagement. In this, it feels or they're feeling included and valued can boost a student's motivation and engagement, leading to a greater effort and achievement. Then another benefits, the benefits for students without disabilities. First is enhance social and emotional development. This is exposure to peers with disabilities, fosters empathy, understanding, respect for diversity, preparing students for a more inclusive society. Then improve collaboration and teamwork skills. Working together in inclusive classrooms strengthens students' teamwork and collaboration skills, which is essential for success in both academic and professional settings. Then there is also a greater understanding of individual differences. This helps students recognize that everyone learns differently and has unique strengths and challenges. Increase tolerance and acceptance. If we're going to expose to peers with disabilities, can help students develop more positive attitudes towards individuals with differences, which reduce to prejudice and discrimination. Then enhance emotional intelligence. Learning alongside peers with disabilities can help students develop emotional intelligence, understanding, and responding to the needs of others. The advantages of inclusive schools can also benefit teachers. The benefits for teachers are the following. First is improved teaching skills. In inclusive classrooms, this requires teachers to differentiate instruction and provide support for diverse learners, enhancing their teaching skills and adaptability. Next is enhanced collaboration skills. Working with special education teachers, specialists, and parents to develop individualized education plans, it strengthens teachers' collaboration and communication skills. Then increase professional growth. The challenges and rewards of inclusive classrooms encourage teachers to continuously learn and grow professionally. Then there's also a benefits for the school community. The benefits are more welcoming and inclusive school climate. So in inclusive schools fosters a more welcoming and inclusive environment for all students, reducing bullying and promoting a sense of belonging. Stronger school-wide culture of respect. So inclusive practices promote a school-wide culture of respect for diversity, recognizing and appreciating the unique contribution of each individual. There is also an increased collaboration and partnership. Inclusive schools encourage collaboration between the teachers, specialists, the parents, and the wider community to create a more supportive and interconnected network. Then also, the advantages of inclusive education give benefit for society. These benefits are more inclusive and equitable society. So inclusive schools prepare students for a more inclusive and equitable society where everyone has the opportunity to contribute and succeed. Then there is an increase of empathy and understanding. By interacting with peers with disabilities, students develop empathy and understanding for individuals with differences, fostering a more compassionate and accepting society. There's also an improved social cohesion. Inclusive schools promote social cohesion by creating a sense of belonging and shared purpose among students from diverse backgrounds. So, those are the different advantages of inclusive schools. As we all know, if there are advantages, usually the pair to that is the disadvantage. So, these are the following disadvantages of inclusive schools. First is economic concerns. So economic concerns, this is one of the significant disadvantage or the burden associated with inclusive education. So students with disabilities often requires additional support, of course, including specialized equipment, trained paraprofessionals, and individualized learning plan. There is also the disadvantage of the teacher training and expertise. Inclusive classrooms requires teachers with specialized training and expertise in working with diverse learners. However, many teachers lack the necessary skills and knowledge to effectively support students with disabilities. Then another is the social and emotional challenges. While inclusion aims to foster social interaction and acceptance, it can also present social and emotional challenges for both students with and without disabilities. Teasing, ostracism, and prejudice can occur, especially if students are not adequately prepared to interact with individuals who are different from them. First is the disruptions and learning environment. The presence of students with disabilities, particularly those with behavioral or emotional challenges, can disrupt the learning environment for other students. This can make it difficult for teachers to maintain focus and deliver instruction effectively. Then, fifth is the lack of resources and capacity. Implementing inclusive practices effectively requires sufficient resources and capacity. This includes financial resources to provide necessary accommodations, support services, and training. Then, concerns about meaningful
of
participation.
inclusive
In an
schools
inclusive
and
community
community.
development, it requires
To start
meaningful
with,
participation from all the members, including those who are traditionally
our reporter
marginalized
is
or underrepresented.
good
And
morning. This
lastly,
is our
the
group, the
long-term
Bohol group, the
sustainability.
Dsped 601,
Inclusive practices
introducing
require a long-term
the
commitment
subject is
and
introduction
continuous
to special
effort to
education by
maintain the positive
Professor
changes
John
achieved.
L. Capuno,
So thank you
describe
so much. This is all
characteristics
about
of
my topic.
inclusive schools
Next to
and
discuss
community.
is, I guess it's
To
Ma'am
start
Emma.
with,
Ako Ma'am Karen.
Then
Okay, good day to each and everyone. The next topic that I'll be going to report is the ripple effect, how inclusive schools transform communities. So inclusive schools where students with and without disabilities learn together not only benefit individual students but also have a profound impact in the wider community. So this impact extends beyond the school walls, creating a more equitable, empathetic, and thriving society. So number one is fostering a culture of acceptance and respect. One of the most significant impacts of inclusive schools is the creation of a culture of acceptance and respect for diversity. Next is preparing students for a diverse world. So, inclusive schools prepare students for a diverse and interconnected world by interacting with individuals from different backgrounds and abilities. Students develop essential life skills like communication, collaboration, and problem solving. The third one is enhancing community engagement. So, inclusive schools often encourage parental involvement and community partnerships. So, this collaboration strengthens the connection between the school and the community, fostering a sense of shared responsibility for student success. And number four is promoting economic and social benefits. The impact of inclusive schools extends beyond social benefits by providing equal opportunities for all students, regardless of their abilities. The schools contribute to a more productive and inclusive workforce. And next, number five is challenges and considerations. While inclusive schools offer numerous benefits, it's important to acknowledge the challenges. Implementing inclusive practices requires adequate resources, trained staff, and ongoing support. Addressing concerns about potential disruption in classroom and ensuring that all students receive appropriate accommodation are crucial for successful inclusion. So next to report is the challenges of inclusive schools that will be tackled by Miss Eva de Gracia.
Okay, good day to each and everyone. I'm tasked to report about the challenges of inclusive education. Inclusive schools. Um, Inclusive schools, which aims to provide equal education opportunities for all students regardless of their abilities or backgrounds, face numerous challenges in their implementation and effectiveness. This response will delve into the key obstacles hindering the success of inclusive schools, joining upon the time online search results. Um, he, First is attitudinal barriers. One of the most significant challenges in the negative attitude towards disability and inclusion prevalent in society, including among parents, teachers, and the wider community. Um, this attitude often stems from a lack of understanding about disability, leading to misconceptions, fear, and discriminations. Some parents may be hesitant to enroll their children with disabilities in mainstream schools, fearing that they will not receive
Kaguling, Bisaya,
adequate
no eh.
support or that their child will be stigmatized. Similarly, teachers may lack the training and
Kaguling,
confidence to
Bisaya.
effectively teach students
Hindi,
with
manok ba?
diverse
Ay, itlog,
needs,
itlog.
leading to
Kaguling, baka ano eh.
reluctance to embrace inclusive practices. Second one is lack of resources and support. Inclusive schools require significant resources and the support to function effectively. This includes adequate funding for specialized equipment, assistive technology, the training for teachers and staff. Large class sizes often make it difficult for teachers to provide individualized attention to all students, particularly those with special needs. The lack of trained specialists such as special education teachers, therapists, and psychologists further hampers the ability of schools to meet the diverse needs of their students. The third one is about accessibility and infrastructure. Um, in physical accessibility is crucial for inclusive schools, but many buildings are not designed to accommodate students with disabilities. Ramps, accessible restrooms, and adapted classrooms are often lacking, creating barriers to participation for students with mobility impairments. In addition, the lack of adapted gyms and specialized equipment limits opportunities for physical activity and skill development for students with disabilities. Um, the fourth one is about curriculum and pedagogical challenges. This is the traditional curriculum may not be flexible enough to cater the diverse learning styles and needs of of all students. This lack of differentiation can lead to students with disabilities failing behind or becoming disengaged. Teachers need specialized training to effectively adapt the curriculum and implement inclusive teaching strategies that address the individual needs of their students. The next one is about cultural and linguistic barriers. Inclusive schools strive to embrace diversity, but cultural and linguistic differences can create challenges for both students and teachers. Students from minority groups or with different cultural backgrounds may face difficulties in understanding the curriculum, communicating with teachers and peers, or navigating the social norms of the um, navigating the social norms of the school environment. Schools need to develop strategies to address these barriers, such as providing language support, incorporating culturally relevant materials, and fostering a climate or respect and understanding. And in overcoming the challenges, despite the challenges, there are steps that can be taken to create more inclusive and effective schools. This includes raising awareness and changing attitudes. Education and awareness campaigns can help to dispel misconceptions about disability and promote a more inclusive mindsets. Next one is investing in resources and support. It increased funding for inclusive practices, specialized equipment, and training for teachers in crucial. The next one is about improving accessibility and infrastructure. Schools needs to be designed and adapted to accommodate students with disabilities, including ramps, accessible restrooms, and adaptive classrooms. And developing flexible curricula and pedagogical approaches. Teachers need training in different instruction and inclusive teaching strategies to cater to the diverse needs of their students, fostering a culture of acceptance and respect. Need to create a welcoming and inclusive environment where all students feel valued and respected, regardless of their disabilities or background. In conclusion to this, inclusive schools are essential for ensuring that all students have the opportunity to reach their full potential. However, overcoming the challenges of inclusive education requires a multifaceted approach that addresses attitudinal, resource, accessibility, and good barriers by working together. Educators, policymakers, and communities can create schools that are truly inclusive and provide a high quality education for all. And with this, when school when schools, families, and community groups work together to support learning, children tends to do better in school, stay in school longer, and like school more. By Anne Henderson. Thank you. This is the group 3. It's all about describing reporting about
Thank you so much.
describe characteristic of inclusive schools and communities. Thank you.